I've been eagerly waiting for this series to air since I saw it in my What I Will Watch for Summer of Anime 2017 video. Made in Abyss definitely caught my attention when I saw its summary. And then after watching the first episode, I can clearly say that this might be the contender for anime of the season. Now, if we're not, counting continuations, for instance, continuations from last season or season 2s or whatever, this might be anime of the season. Now, that could easily change. Next episode, it could go to absolute shit. That is a possibility. I've seen that happen. I really have seen that happen. But there is some other things out there that is obviously giving this series competition. But still, Made in Abyss does have a lot of potential to be anime of the season. And the reason why is because of how different this series is from everything else that is coming out from this season. Number one, the art style of this series is completely different from anything else that you have probably seen in the past couple seasons. I'm just gonna instantly say that. I mean, I have not seen an art style like this in a good long while, like something this different. And so, if you're wanting something with a very, very, very distinct art style that is not the normal anime art style, then you might want to check this out, but most likely you're going to want to know what the plot's about. So what is Made in Abyss about in the first place? Well, number one, it's set in a fantasy world. It seems like it has some form of, like, futuristic technology, because you do have, like, robots and stuff in this, but the main plot is where there's this big-ass pit. Like, imagine a big hole, okay, in the earth. And this hole is 1,000 meters across, okay? That's big as fuck. But when you look down in this hole, you don't see a bottom. And people have went down in this hole to figure out where the bottom is, but no one's really ever came up to let you know how deep it is. So nobody really knows how deep this pit is at all. And that's kind of the main focus, or the main, I guess, point where the series is focusing on. It's focusing on adventurers going into this big pit and figuring out how deep it is, but also gaining ancient relics, which is inside of it. So, FYI, our characters are cave raiders. So, like, they go into this pit, they go around and they try to figure out, like, where these tombs are, or where these certain relics are, and then they grab them and they bring them back up to the surface, and then the orphanage makes money. That's the big objective of this series. Now, obviously, throughout all of these little things, there's some very underlying dark themes taking place. Number one, let's talk about the kids going down into the pit. The first thing, okay? These kids that don't have parents, they're orphans, they're being told to go down and get artifacts and then come back up to help out the orphanage. But adults, from what we see, are not really doing it at the moment, which is very, very strange. But then, let's look at our main female character's room. Her room is a straight-up torture chamber. No joke. I mean, it's mentioned, but if you really look at the way the scenes are, to where the robot kid is sitting down at, you're like, this is a torture chamber. Like, this is a really fucked up looking torture chamber. And for this type of, environment to be here, but it's, I guess, used as a room, you're like, damn, that's kind of fucking dark for the character to be staying in, don't you think? I mean, that implies that some really fucked up shit has had to have happened in the past when you think about it, because let's think about why the town was formed in the first place. FYI, this entire area that, this series is taking place is on, like, an island. It's on an island that was discovered by some adventurers. When they discovered this island, they discovered the pit, obviously. And then because of the size of the pit was, and then how deep it was, eventually the people that went there, they formed a city. They built a giant-ass city around the pit. And you see a bunch of buildings completely encircling the entirety of this hole. And that lets you know that that torture chamber wasn't from, like, an ancient civilization or anything like that. That was actually the orphanage that opened up having a torture chamber. Like, what the fuck? I mean, okay, so there's some obviously, there's obvious dark shit in this series that probably is gonna go down. Like, I could sense it. I could sense that something very bad is gonna happen. If it wasn't just for that, let's also talk about the actual parents for a second, okay? all of these characters in this series, they're orphans. They're orphans, they're working, they're going into a life or death situation to get these materials, relics, whatever, bring them up for the orphanage. But then, we also found out through the main female character that her parent, her mother, went down in this pit, and then she wants to go after her. And the way you can see this, most likely her parent is dead because she's an orphan. So that means that a lot of, people's parents, all these kids' parents, most likely have disappeared in the abyss and never came up ever again. So there's some dark things taking place in this series, and I'm looking forward to figuring out exactly what's really going on, because it feels like one of those type of series that is a very, I guess, lighthearted series that makes you think, or it appears to be nice and kind and happy, but once that is removed a couple episodes in, we will find out that there is a darker side to this series. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, though, getting back on topic, so what is the objective? Like I said, basically, the main female character, she wants to go after her mother and find her mother inside of the abyss. And so she wants to go down as deep as she can before she can figure out what's down there. And nobody's ever seen the bottom. So it adds a nice good layer of mystery to this series, because there's so many characters that don't know what's really down there. There's probably creatures and all of that down there that they have never seen before, which really caught my attention and interest, because as someone that loves mystery, as someone that loves these type of stories, I definitely wanted to watch more, and it eagerly made me want to continue watching. And when the episode ended, I'm like, fuck, there's no more. I gotta wait for next week for the episode to come out. And so the series hooked me. It instantly hooked me after the first 5 minutes, and I wanted to see more. And so if you're wanting like an adventure series that probably is going to have something very fucked up happen in the middle of this series, probably character deaths or something, but if you want something that's very distinct when it comes to its art style, has good art and animation, and has a very nice soundtrack, then I recommend Made in Abyss. If you have yet to see this, go watch it for yourself. It was pretty fantastic. I'm going to continue watching it because it definitely stood out to me. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or nights wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.